Sometimes you can be surrounded by the world and still feel completely invisible. In a world that never slows down, it is easy to feel left behind. There are nights when failure feels louder than your dreams. Nights where you begin questioning your own worth. Sometimes the hardest battles come from comparing your pain to everyone else's highlight reel. Millions of people are fighting silent battles every single day. More than you realize. Sometimes loneliness feels heaviest during the quiet moments, when nobody is around to hear your thoughts. You can chase dreams for years and still wonder if you are truly enough. Sometimes healing does not begin with advice. Little by little, you begin rebuilding yourself through small choices and nobody else notices. Your story is not ending here. This is only the beginning of the person you are becoming. Sometimes you work endlessly just to survive, while silently wondering if life will ever become easier. The world keeps moving no matter how exhausted you feel, and that can make loneliness feel even heavier. Some nights feel strangely quiet, like your mind has become too tired to even explain the pain anymore. Sometimes the hardest struggles are the ones nobody notices. The quiet pressure of trying to hold your life together. There are moments when survival itself feels like a full-time battle. Deep inside, you still carry the dreams you once believed in before life became complicated. Sometimes you barely recognize yourself anymore because pain changes people slowly over time. And sometimes, in complete darkness, you finally stop pretending to be okay. Pain does not always disappear overnight, but slowly, little moments of peace begin finding their way back into your life. Sometimes healing begins with something as small as allowing light back into your world. The world still holds beauty, even during seasons when your heart struggles to feel it. Healing often happens quietly, through ordinary moments that slowly remind you life still continues. Sometimes comfort can be found in the smallest places: a warm room, a quiet meal, a moment of peace. You never realize how powerful kindness can be until you receive it during your darkest moments. Little by little, your heart begins learning how to carry hope again. Sometimes healing begins the moment you stop isolating yourself from the world. You deserve moments of happiness, even if life once convinced you otherwise. There comes a moment when you realize surviving was not pointless, because slowly, life starts feeling alive again. The same world that once felt cold and hopeless can eventually become the place where you rediscover yourself. No matter how lost you once felt, loneliness is not always being physically alone. Sometimes it is feeling emotionally disconnected from everyone around you. The world constantly tells you who you should become, and sometimes that pressure becomes overwhelming. Growth always begins with discomfort, with showing up even when insecurity tells you not to. Strength is not built during easy moments. It is built every time you choose not to quit. Sometimes the smallest victories matter the most, especially when you spent so long doubting yourself. Healing often begins externally before it reaches your heart, by slowly rebuilding the space around you. You deserve to create spaces that make you feel safe, spaces where your soul can finally breathe. Dreams do not disappear just because life became difficult. One day you realize the world never expected perfection from you. It only asked you to keep moving forward. Your voice matters. Even if fear convinced you to stay silent for a long time. Sometimes helping others heal becomes part of healing yourself. There is something beautiful about ordinary, peaceful moments. Moments that remind you, life is not always chaos. The child inside you still remembers the dreams you once had, and maybe those dreams are not gone forever. You do not need to have your entire future figured out right now. Sometimes peace comes from simply allowing yourself to exist. Every person you meet is carrying struggles you cannot see. And every life is moving at its own pace. Sometimes growth requires leaving behind the places and versions of yourself that no longer help you heal. A new chapter often begins quietly, not with loud victories, but with a single peaceful breath. For the first time in a long while, your heart begins feeling lighter than your fears. You survived every dark night that once convinced you life would never get better. And now, after everything you survived, life is finally beginning again. Healing does not happen in one dramatic moment. It happens slowly, quietly, through peaceful mornings like this. For so long, your mind was trapped in survival mode, but now your soul is finally learning how to rest. Not every day will feel amazing, but little by little, the heavy pain inside you becomes easier to carry. Sometimes freedom is not becoming someone new. Sometimes it is finally becoming yourself again. The world is full of people quietly trying to heal, just like you. Sometimes the exact words you need arrive when your heart is finally ready to hear them. Hey there, don't be shy, come join us.
Hello.
Glad to have you, we're all friends here. You were never meant to carry life completely alone. One day, without even noticing it, you begin creating memories that no longer hurt. The pain may never fully disappear, but it no longer controls your future. Healing sometimes means finally letting go of the version of yourself that believed you were broken. As your heart heals, creativity, passion, and hope slowly begin returning too. You slowly realize your life is becoming bigger than the pain you once thought would destroy you. Life keeps moving forward, and maybe that is a beautiful thing after all. There is something comforting about realizing the world is full of people still searching, still healing, still trying. The world is still full of beautiful things waiting for you to experience them. You survived every moment that once convinced you life would never feel beautiful again. Storms pass. Pain changes. The strongest version of you was never the one who never struggled. It was the one who kept going anyway. One day you stop surviving life and finally begin living it. No matter how dark your story once became,